back to my channel. My name is Willie Eaglehawk. I'm the CEO of Micro Book Publisher Revolutionaries, as well as a published author. And today I thought I would share with you all the reasons why your book is not getting publishing deals. The whole idea behind these videos is to make them really short and sweet and to give you some information that you can instantly take on board and start to work on so that you can get your book out into the world. The number one biggest thing that I see that prevents people from getting a publishing deal is that their book is not finished. Now this in particular applies to fiction because non-fiction is a different kettle of fish, but I often get pitched and sent manuscripts that are incomplete for fiction works. Now with fiction, you are meant to be pitching and querying with a completed manuscript. Of course, there's always an exception to this rule, but 9 times out of 10, it needs to be complete. This tells me, the prospective editor and publisher, that you have a finished manuscript. You are capable of finishing a manuscript because hello, it's right here in front of me. It gives me all the information that I need to know if I so choose to read it. And it shows me that you are serious and ready to take on the task of working with a publisher. And for the most part, whenever I talk to writers who really want to be published, the number one thing that's standing in their way is that they don't have a completed manuscript or they haven't started writing at all. So if this is you, please just keep working on it. Get to a finished, polished, highly edited, ready to go manuscript, and it will truly help you so much in your publishing process. The second most frequent thing I see with people who are coming to me is that they have not done their research. Now this can be broken down into a few different categories. First, you really need to understand the current market. What books are selling? What books are publishers really interested in getting out to the public? What do readers want to read? Like, are you on BookTok? Are you understanding what these viral videos are all about? What are these books looking like? What are the themes? Are you writing in this genre or are you writing in a totally different niche area? If you are writing in more of a niche area and you're not really seeing your book out there, you need to do your research and find out who publishes these books, what the readership is for them, do your research on the demographic, the markets, the countries, and then find a publisher who wants to work with people like you, because I can assure you, for every strange and weird book that is being written, there is a publisher who wants to publish it. But you just need to find them. So instead of, say, taking your historical fiction to an erotic imprint, you can take it to a publisher that is currently looking for more historical fiction to publish. As part of any kind of publication process, I really recommend doing a competing title search. So this is different to just understanding the market in general. This is looking up other books that are like yours. And I know your book is different and unique and it's not like anyone else's, and that's totally cool. That's what people want to publish, but there should be comparable titles. So if you are writing a book about a magical wizarding school, you need to be able to not only show me Harry Potter, but show me all the other books that you're aware of that are similar to your book, and then say how yours is different. Firstly, this shows me as the publisher that you're aware of everything else in your area, in your industry, in your niche, in your market, and that you have read these books potentially, and that your book is similar but not the same. So it shows that you have a really great awareness of what you're bringing into the world, instead of kind of blindly fumbling through and potentially plagiarizing someone else's work or creating something that is already too similar. And in doing this, making sure that the publisher doesn't already have a book that is too similar to the one that you're trying to pitch them, because there's a high chance that they won't be interested. Whereas if their competitor has a book that's slightly similar but you think that yours is better, maybe they would want to go with that. Also, in providing a competing title search, it just shows that you're professional and you are ready to take on this task. It also shows when they're trying to market your book where it can fit. If there are already 10, 20, 30 other books similar to yours that are selling really well, this tells your publisher that there is already a market for your work, and that is a really good thing. And third, when it comes to research, please look what your publisher, agent, or editor that you are pitching and querying to is actually interested in publishing. Once again, it's just like showing up to an erotic imprint with a historical fiction that has no erotica in it. You want to make sure that you are saying to the person, hey, I've looked you up, I see that you publish historical fiction, I see that you are currently looking for historical fiction set in Brisbane with Indigenous characters, and hey, this is actually what I have, and I think this is right up your alley. That is going to get you to the very top of their priority list. They're going to want to look at your query and read your book and see if they're going to publish it. But if you give them something that they're not interested in, you are going to get the fastest rejection or perhaps no response at all. Another huge roadblock to getting a publishing deal is when people send queries and pitches and just general emails that are not professional whatsoever. Emails that start with, well, I don't really know if you're interested in this, or something really generic and obviously just sent out to a whole lot of people. That doesn't make me as a publisher, as an editor, want to put the effort in to get to know you and your work. So if you start and say, hi, here's my manuscript, and then just give an attachment, I'm probably going to ignore that email for as long as possible. I want to be drawn in. I want to know who you are, what you're writing about, and why I should be publishing you. It doesn't need to be complex, but you do need to show up presenting yourself in the most professional way to say, hey, I'm ready, take a chance on me, let's do this thing. And similar to this, another reason that really stops people from getting a deal, and perhaps this is if the publisher is already interested in working with them but haven't actually offered an agreement yet, is that people show that they're not actually ready to go through a whole publication process. It's not as straightforward as giving someone your manuscript and them then handing you a book back. What you have to do is enter a relationship with your editor and the publisher. They're going to be getting so intimate with your work. They're going to be giving you so much feedback, and you're going to have to take on board this feedback. Firstly, be able to receive it properly, which is very difficult when someone is picking apart something that you've worked so hard on, but then understand the feedback and respond appropriately to the feedback. These are all 3 different skills that can be developed over time, but you have to be open and willing and ready to learn. And I have unfortunately worked with many authors who are not able to receive the feedback. They go, oh, my book, it has something that you want to change. No, I can't do that. And of course you are allowed to disagree on changes, but if you're not ready to go into that feedback process where you go, oh, okay, I understand what you're looking for, but I don't really want to change that, but how about we do this instead? That's a better way of approaching feedback that perhaps you don't want to work with. But if you present yourself to a publisher as someone who is inflexible, unable to receive feedback, unable to have a good working rapport, they're not going to want to work with you. And this brings me to my very last point today, to keep it nice and short and sweet. A reason why you might not be getting published is that the publisher doesn't know how to market your work. And this does link back to the other point about doing a title search and seeing what the market is like and seeing what people want to be publishing and reading. But if you've created something that is a little bit too strange, that doesn't really fit into one genre, that doesn't already have a clearly defined market, a publisher might say, oh, that's too hard for me to market. I don't know what to do with that. I can't easily make money. Because typically you are pitching directly to an editor who then has to take your pitch and go to their manager and say, hey, this is what I want to do. This is how much money we could potentially make. This is the market. This is how much the budget's going to be, etc. So you have to be able to understand where you're putting your book, how you're pitching it, and making sure that it can be marketed somehow. And this can be really hard. And take it from me, this was the biggest obstacle for me getting my first book published, because though people loved it, they couldn't figure out a way to market it because it was cross-genre. And that was one of the main reasons why my book was getting rejected, but nobody told me. So I thought there was a problem with the quality. I thought it was a problem with me. Of course, I took it very personally, but it was the fact that it was cross-genre, which of course is my problem. It's my fault in that respect. But the editor just didn't feel confident enough to publish it in an American market. So a way around that is finding smaller independent publishers that want to take those risks, or potentially self-publishing and doing all of your own marketing yourself, which might be easier over time to build a community around the strange niche thing that you're writing about and sell directly to them, which is what I did. That is all from me for now. Comment below if you got something out of this, or if you have more questions for me to answer. I hope this was informative, and I will see you next time.